Well, of course, credit is due when credit is due. So this also, of course, goes for the Obama administration. And, I've been so negative on here regarding his administration that some things do need to be mentioned. And I'll also post a link to another vlogger who has mentioned those same things. And I'd like to add two more to that. I'll post the link in the sidebar here. One of them was that his administration has now rescinded the Bush order to essentially block the press from any kind of coverage of the homecoming coffins of the war dead, and it should be left up to the families, of course, and that is a very good decision on Obama's part. Another one is, of course, that he is also proposing a $9 billion cut in the defense budget, which of course has to pass through Congress. This is not an executive order or anything. And that's meeting with much opposition already. So at least he's proposing that. So those are two very good things, and I'm in total support of that. On the other hand, and I just always stay vigilant about any politician, and this time is no different. There's a little noticed story which is probably not being mentioned in the mainstream news. And essentially what the Obama administration has done is it is giving cover to the Bush administration regarding the wiretapping program. This was a story filed by John Byrne, and I will also post a link to that story. In a stunning defense of President George W. Bush's warrantless wiretapping program, President Barack Obama has broadened the government's legal argument for immunizing his administration and government agencies from lawsuits surrounding the National Security Agency's eavesdropping efforts. In fact, a close read of a government filing last Friday, so this was just 4 days ago, reveals that the Obama administration has gone beyond any previous legal claims put forth by former President Bush. Responding to a lawsuit filed by civil liberties groups, and this is not coming from Glenn Beck or any right-wing groups here. Responding to a lawsuit filed by civil liberties groups, the Justice Department argued that the government was protected by sovereign immunity from lawsuits because of a little noticed clause in the revised Patriot Act. The government's legal filings can be found in that article, and as I say, I'll post a link to it. For the first time, the Obama administration's brief contends that government agencies cannot be sued for wiretapping American citizens, even if there was intentional violation of U.S. law. They maintain that the government can only be sued if the wiretaps involve willful disclosure, a much higher legal bar. A willful violation in Section 223, and I'm not going to go into the legalese of this, refers to the willful disclosure of intelligence information by government agents. And such disclosures by the government are the only actions that create liability against the United States. Obama Assistant Attorney General Michael Hertz wrote in this brief. Senior Staff Attorney Kevin Bankston at the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which is suing the government over the warrantless wiretapping, notes that the government has previously argued that the government had sovereign immunity against civil actions under the FISA statute. But he says that this is the first time that they've invoked changes to the Patriot Act in claiming the U.S. government immune from claims of illegal spying under any other federal surveillance statute. They're arguing this based on changes made to the law by the U.S. Patriot Act. Columnist and constitutional scholar Glenn Greenwald, who is generally supportive of progressive interpretations of the law, says that the Obama administration has invented a brand new claim of immunity from spying litigation. In other words, beyond even the outrageously broad state secrets privilege invented by the Bush administration and now fully embraced by the Obama administration, the Obama Department of Justice has now invented a brand new claim of government immunity, one which literally asserts that the U.S. government is free to intercept all of your communications, calls, emails, and the like, and even what they're doing is blatantly illegal and they know it's illegal, you're barred from suing them unless they willfully disclose to the public what they have learned, Greenwald wrote on Monday. He also argues that the Justice Department's response is exclusively the product of the new administration, noting that 3 months have elapsed since Bush has left office. This brief and this case are exclusively the Obama DOJ's Department of Justice's, and the ample time that has elapsed, almost 3 full months, makes it clear that it was fully considered by Obama officials, Greenwald wrote. Yet they responded exactly as Bush DOJ, Department of Justice, would have. This demonstrates that the Department of Justice under Obama plans to invoke the exact radical doctrines of executive secrecy which Bush used, not only when the Obama DOJ is taking over a case from the Bush DOJ, but even when they are deciding what response should be made in the first instance to this. Everything for which Bush critics excoriated the Bush doctrines, using an absurdly broad rendition of state secrets to block entire lawsuits from proceeding, even when they allege radical law-breaking by the president and inventing new claims of absolute legal immunity, are now things that the Obama Department of Justice has left no doubt it intends to embrace itself. These are some very sobering claims being made here, and I suggest you look it up. So, I'm not a Glenn Beck supporter. I'm not, I'm not a Fox News watcher. They have their own agenda. I am for civil liberties all the way around, and that goes across the board politically. So it's something to think about. Good night.